WWF Light Heavyweight Champion Gilbert, brother, and you're listening to the Cretans Guild Podcast. Ah!
Coffee? Whiskey?
Just water.
Both? Boring.
Yeah, I know. Not all that to... I mean, it could go, I don't know, if you wanted like an extra conversation piece or something, I could whip up a quick egg cream out of this coffee syrup that I got.
Ugh.
Don't knock until you try it.
Okay.
I know it sounds like demonically fucking weird.
Hey, I'm the guy who put a hot dog in a sliced up Twinkie and said, yeah, it's not that bad.
Did you do that on the show?
No. I did eat a couple of naked chicken chalupas on the show.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that too. It's still there. Can't get rid of it.
It didn't pass.
It did not pass. It is a part of me.
It never became a naked chicken chalupa.
It's not. It is lodged in place. It is set up camp, and
Nice.
it's tuning in. And it's getting its own Max subscription.
It'll be like the longest lasting part of you once they finally bury you.
It'll outlast the cockroaches, that's for sure. Hello, Cretans, and welcome to episode 122 of the Cretans Guild podcast.
That's like essential cockroach food, isn't it?
I mean, I live off of it, so sure, why not?
First of all, where do you now find your naked chicken chalupas? Because I would very much appreciate the hookup.
Don't know because they don't make it anymore.
That's the truth. That's the truth that the rest of us have to deal with.
I was actually kind of feeling adventurous a few days ago. I was like, I really, really hate myself. Where's the Taco Bell app? Let's see. The naked chicken chalupa's not on the list anymore. What the fuck, dude?
I think that was. I think it was always meant to be one of those like limited time items, unfortunately. Whereas like the Choco Taco was implied to be around for as long as Klondike was around, but alas.
But that's back now, so hey.
There's Choco Taco?
Yeah, I thought that came back.
No, they were supposed to. There was a rumor of them bringing it back. We might have talked about that on the show.
Yeah, I thought you went into like the work commissary and you found one.
That's a different story.
Oh.
All right, hang on a second. So about 2 years
okay.
ago when I first started working this was about, I think maybe 6 months after they discontinued the Choco Taco.
Oh, no.
So basically all that told me was that, work cycle their as often as. Sorry. Please cut out my work. You.
What? Your mic's cutting out. What? Huh? I can't hear you. No, seriously, your mic is cutting out a little bit.
It is? Oh,
just a little. Oh, by the way, if you normally listen to our show and you're like, where's the background music? I have decided not to do it for this particular episode because tonight, as Corey's fixing his stuff, I can set this up. Tonight is going to be a very special where Blossom discovers the caffeine pills.
Discovers the caffeine.
We're going to deliver on a promise that we made on our last cast, and we're going to talk about anime intros and, well, basically anime music for the most part. Stay tuned. You'll see what we're referencing. You'll see.
That was Jesse Spano in Saved by the Bell.
Same thing, man. Who cares?
I don't know, man. The Blossom very special episodes got kind of dark.
Did they ever do one? Did Blossom get pregnant or something? Somebody fucked Blossom?
I think Blossom kind of became like maimed out at the time for the like proliferation of very special episodes that it had, and one of them was use your imagination and then wash it out with some bathtub vodka.
It does remind me. Did you ever see the behind the scenes special they made years after on the Dana Carvey show?
What was this? What was it called? Like the day that no, I remember that there was a documentary show about it, but I never saw it. No.
Oh, they were just talking about how, as a joke, they would let just the biggest no-name brand be the sponsor, and so they got it was Diet Mug Root Beer presents the Dana Carvey show or something like that. And it's funny. You get the joke and everything, but what they didn't anticipate is when they do IDs. It's like, hey, coming up tonight is this episode, followed by this, followed by that, and then they have to say the entire title of the show, which is the Diet Mug Root Beer presents Dana Carvey show. It didn't really come back to bite them until Full House was doing an extra special episode where one of the kids get cancer. And they're playing clips from the shows, like the kids crying. It's like, I don't want to die. And everyone's hugging. It's like, everything's going to be fine. A very special Full House. Followed by the Diet Mug Root Beer presents Dana Carvey episode.
Holy shit.
Yeah, if I remember it, I gotta look up the name of that at some point. Oh God, it's a great little thing because it's like where all these like big name writers and comics got like their big writing start. So they're playing that clip and they're just dying laughing at a child dying.
That's amazing. I mean, it's the comedy that writes itself. See, I'm looking at some of the Blossom stuff here, and it's
God.
None of it has that tactless irony to it. It's straight up just like Blossom gets smacked around by her date, and she doesn't know whether to report him to the police or not. And it's all just very barren horror.
It's just Chris Brown stuff.
It's just Chris Brown stuff. I don't think the thing is, it's Blossom. There weren't a whole lot of black people.
That was on ABC on Friday nights.
It was. I'm pretty sure it took place totally in a gated neighborhood.
Yeah, it probably did. Yeah, or Beverly Hills. I don't know.
Beverly Hills.
I always assumed that show took place in Canada. They never. I don't know if they actually said where it takes place.
Canada. They'd be drinking maple syrup. Never mind. Okay,
yeah,
we're not going to do those stereotypes.
Eh?
Huh?
Eh? So anyway, all right. So let's get on our topic of choice for tonight. God, we don't do this very often. We actually go on to a topic and we like devote an entire episode to it. Usually it's just you and me bullshitting for an hour, but we got one tonight.
Well, like the last like 4, maybe 5 episodes that we've done, we've all been like, hey, maybe we'll talk about this a little bit later. This was like the one time that we actually remembered that we kind of teased that in the last episode.
Yeah. So we put some legwork into this. There's some research put behind this. We put a whole hour.
Show prep?
Show prep, yeah. As little as we do. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you do.
As little as I do.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Not to call you out or anything, but
no, it's fine. I own that shit.
But anyway, we have
in real life.
I've got like 30 different tabs open on my computer screen. I'm surprised my computer is not begging for seppuku right now.
Yeah, you know why there's been no hardware failure, right?
Yeah, it's because I do shit like this.
No, it's because I built it.
Oh.
And that shit's good.
Well, I mean, yeah, it has lasted almost 9 years now, so can't complain. Close to it, yeah. I've only had to update the hard drive. I think my CPU is the next to go, though. It's got to be on its last legs. But enough about my shitty ass big computer PC thing. So, Corey, we have compiled some of your favorites, some of my favorites, another list that we'll talk about at the end. But let's start off with some of the most wildly popular anime intros of all time, and a couple that we both agree they should be on this list. What's the first one you want to hear?
The one that always pops up in a conversation of the greatest anime intros ever, because this topic will inevitably be approached, but by enough nerds with enough alcohol in the same room. Yeah,
let's just knock it out. This is it. It's one of the greatest intros of all time.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. I mean, this song.
Get everybody in the stuff together.
I don't want to cut him off.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Let's jam.
When high school marching bands are playing this during halftime, you know you have a hit.
Now, mind you, that happened like 15 years after it was on Adult Swim.
Oh, it still happened, though.
The fact that it's become as mainstream as it has. Okay, was this ever on like for one thing? Do you have like your own like custom alarms on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, was this ever in the rotation?
It was at one point, but I have learned that having an alarm that starts off really strong like that,
yeah,
is not good for my heart.
Oh.
Because if you're just like dead asleep, REM is just kicking in like crazy, and then you hear like right next to your head. It's like, oh fuck, I have to change this. Not because I want to, because I have to.
But you see, but like if you're that deep in the REM, then what's going to happen is that like you're going to be dreaming that you're hearing it.
That's the
no
other
matter
thing.
what situation.
I'll probably start rocking out in my sleep. It's like, all right, this is a kick-ass song. I'm going to keep laying here and listening to it.
Honey, where'd you get that black eye? I don't.
Yes, this song would cause me to get a black eye.
Yeah, that's everyone knows that one.
Everyone knows that one. Everyone knows this particular song. Not one of my favorite shows. I've watched a few episodes and like, it's all right. It's a classic. Everyone knows it. I love how it's used more as a joke now than it is respected as a song.
Kind of, yeah. It's been maimed. That's part of the Gainax experience. Did I ever tell you about like when I was living in Lincoln Park, on the way to work, I passed by this guy in a 3-piece business suit carrying a briefcase, and he's just kind of like humming to himself.
Oh, no.
Like, okay. Well, as I get closer to him, I start hearing these bars, and I'm like, is this executive listening to fucking Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Hey, don't judge. We're all weebs at heart.
No, I didn't judge. I was just.
You were more impressed.
He looks like. I was impressed because he looks like he just had that air of, hey, I make good money, and I'm like, well, you're a weeb. How's that possible?
I mean, they can't sit around and watch American Psycho all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me clarify this. You can be a weeb and make good money, but it's usually in like some sort of a very niche position. This guy, as far as I could tell, he could have been like an investment banker or something having to do with like I don't know. He would have had like a degree in something that requires a little bit of accreditation.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting here rocking out to like Gainax's best.
He's just dreaming about Gundams or whatever that show's about.
Oh, there's no Gundams in that shit, bud.
Don't they fly like giant robots?
They are well and far the fuck away from that show.
Oh, I thought they fly giant robots in that show.
They do.
Well, that's a Gundam.
Oh, no. Okay. So, if you ever say that in front of somebody who's into Gundam, you might be opening yourself to like a very long explanation.
You know what?
Just so you're aware.
They're all Gundams.
You still go to cons. I don't. Because I'm afraid of humanity now, and I keep myself sheltered.
Well, okay. If I'm not going to call it a Gundam, then allow me to call it a Jaeger. There's got to be like a universal term for these giant robot flying thingies. I always assumed it was Gundam.
No, it's mech.
Mech.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so Gundam.
Okay.
I'm just trying to piss off somebody. I don't know who.
It's like I can see both sides of the issue. Well, I can see one side of the issue more than the other one. Really, the term mech is just as ubiquitous with giant robot as kaiju is to giant lizard.
Oh, okay. So,
and this, I hope, illustrates that.
No, it's still a Gundam to me.
Okay. So, all right. What else is in our pool for like the greatest evers?
All right. So I love how you're the one pushing this along. Awesome.
I picked up a couple of things.
Yeah, you did. So this is highly regarded as one of
you can't do shit with audio technology.
We all have our limitations.
Yeah.
So Demon Slayer, I think this was season 1 Demon Slayer. Beautiful show. I just wish, oh my God, it's stretched out for so long, but this song, Grunge? Grunge? Garunge. Garunga.
It's just sounded out, and there's a 50% chance you might be accurate.
Gringe.
Oh man,
There's so many
You're a
people
lot
just
closer than,
so pissed off at me right now. Here's a song. So, I mean, the show is kind of like one of those dramatic, sometimes comedic, show and shows.
well, it's straight shonen stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah, it's like alpha male showing.
Yeah. Well, here's the dude that doesn't watch a lot of shonen somehow.
Some of it's good. It's limited, but some of it is good. Matter of fact,
here's the
we'll play
shitty
one
thing.
later.
Oh, well, right. But here's the shitty thing about, for whatever reason, I like subconsciously like steer away from a lot of like shonen and mainstream shonen like this, and it's not out of any intention or something. It just seems to be like everywhere, and to start in on one episode always implies to me that there's going to be like a serious investment of time in order to get like the most out of it. You know, that's why I've never like seen that much Dragon Ball, or well, I haven't seen that much Naruto because that show honestly looks like fundamentally fucking boring to me. But there's other ones that do look good, like Full Metal Alchemist. I should have seen the shit out of that by this point in my life, and I just haven't.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. That is on my list, but I have not seen it yet just because there's one thing that I know is like several seasons in, if not a couple seasons in, and it's just like, oh God, I don't want to even get it like emotionally invested, and then that happens, and I'll probably be dead on the inside at that point where I don't care. But at the same time,
Yeah,
I'll just say it involves a dog, and I just don't want to see that.
it involves a dog.
Yeah.
A shonen anime.
Yeah. I don't know what you're thinking, but
I'm trying to think. Huh? Can't name it.
I mean, it's been spoiled for me like 5 times to Tuesday, so I know what happens. So it's gonna be have no effect when I see it. But at the same time, I don't want to see a dog get hurt or anything like that.
Okay.
But Demon Slayer, that is probably one of my top 3 most visually beautiful shows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just it's visually stunning. It's a great show to watch. It does drag on at times. So there's like, do we need this episode? My God, it feels like a filler episode, but they're actually pushing some story. When is the action going to happen? Hey, now they're fighting. Okay, cool.
It's a lot of like post 2000s shonen do like indulge in keeping the arcs contiguous, even though like most of the episode is a whole lot of just B plot. But I think where I lose the most in this, like, not disinterest or whatever the fuck it is that like I keep trying over and over again to watch One Piece, because you think that like the subject material is like right there for us. You know, it's anime. It's an anime about fucking pirates. Not fucking pirates. I mean, pirates.
I'd still watch that. You know what? What helped me was I watched the live action One Piece because it's just one season right now,
which is a great show.
Oh yeah, and I watched. Was like, okay, maybe I can get into this, but it feels like you're walking up to the base of a 7-mile high mountain. It's like,
yeah,
no, I don't have the time for this.
Yeah, you want to talk about a Herculean task? I mean, you remember when I tried to get into the manga, like maybe 15 years ago?
What's wrong with you? Aside from everything,
yeah, it was like 20 volumes deep by that point. I was like, I can read them all. I'm not doing anything, and I'm going to animation school at the time and like working 50 hours a week at frickin' Papa John's.
I do like how some people have released for One Piece the vital episodes. Hey, watch like this episode and that one, and skip like these 50 or it's like, you shouldn't have to make a list like. I mean, I know it's great because there are shows that people made lists for like Star Wars or for the Clone Wars. It's like, you can skip this episode. It has nothing to do with the storyline. It's a side quest, whatever.
And One Piece, like,
God,
12,000.
Yeah, it never ends. That's a show that they're painting themselves in the corner where they can never end that show.
Yeah, and here's where the idea of like a syllabus for One Piece kind of falls apart. Like, even if you summarized it, said, hey, these are your bookmarking episodes, and these all start from like just the very beginning. The thing is that like One Piece, that first season, that shit looks rough. Like, it looks like an unfolded butthole. It was some early days production.
Yeah, the animation is kind of rough, I guess. I'm not sure if it got any better or they just decided, hey, this is our style. We're going to stick with it.
It got a lot better.
Okay.
It's just that at the time they were taking a chance on this successful manga. They didn't know how it was going to play out as an anime. Little did they know that Eiichiro Oda created like the most perfect manga of all time. Created something like that can be perfectly adapted to like almost any medium, and Bandai Namco would never run out of money on the top of it.
Speaking of never running out of money, this show, probably the most popular, I don't know if I want to say the most popular of all time, but definitely the most recognizable maybe of all time.
Right. That's what that guy looks like?
Yeah, I'm not showing Corey's seeing the video, and it's this...
Yeah, the singer?
This skinny, balding guy.
Well, he's got an amazing voice, but he looks like a school janitor.
And obviously, this is the English version. The Japanese. You know what? I don't think I'm familiar with the Japanese version at all. I think this one may have overtaken the Japanese version.
I think that was a 4Kids edition, but somebody who's more well versed in Pokemon trivia will definitely override me on that. I don't want to be like taking shots at this guy's appearance, man, but you know, like, he's crazy talent. There's no doubt.
I mean, he's got a face for radio. That's for damn sure.
He's got a face for singing the Pokemon.
And let me make sure. Original theme singer Jason Page. Okay, yeah. So it's not like some comedian lip syncing to it. It's actually, it looks like him. I've never seen Jason Page before, but yeah.
All right.
Well,
I feel bad.
Yeah. Dude, no, you don't. No, you don't. Be honest, you don't. You got a full head of hair, and you're probably older than him.
Oh, I don't have a full head. It's here. Wait, you can't really see that.
Oh, you got a little monk going on.
Yeah, it's been a rough year, Bob.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't get a.
I'm surprised my hair hasn't fallen out yet. Holy shit.
Then that waits for you near the end of the tunnel then. But by then, nobody will care. Least of all you.
Yeah, nobody cares now. But all right, so those were like some of the most popular songs of all time. There are 4 particular songs that Corey and I honestly believe they should be at the top with those others as some of the greatest of all time. This one we were talking about a little bit on the last cast, and yeah, it's one of the most misleading but greatest themes of all time. And I think in time, this song might overtake Tank one day as one of the more memorable, because I've seen a lot of renditions of this song.
I don't think so. But you've heard other renditions?
Yeah, I've heard like somebody did an English there's been a couple of different English translations or English versions where it's not a translation, but it's lyrics that fit the tone of the song.
That's actually really cool. I had no idea. No, I unfortunately don't think that's... I don't think Death Parade's positioned itself like that because it's just not as well known as Cowboy Bebop, like the anime, the show itself is.
Yeah. We should probably point out this is Death Parade for anyone who doesn't recognize it.
Right. But like whenever people are like, hey, whenever somebody gets like defensive about the anime, they're like, well, you have to see Cowboy Bebop. That's like the first one that people throw out in like, conversations with the normies, because now there's a
but you can't just say, oh, you gotta see Cowboy. That should be like the creme of the top of the list. Cowboy Bebop.
Well, the most of us, yeah. Like if you were to throw out like an introductory anime, it would definitely not be something as like mixed genre like that. It would be something. I don't know. What would you call like? What would you think of as like the quintessential like accessible anime? It couldn't be anything it couldn't be anything like One Piece or Naruto or whatever else is like key to the mainstream, because that's made for a very specific audience.
Oh, you mean like an anime that almost anybody could jump in and start watching?
Yeah, like an introductory.
Ooh.
And a lot of people throw out Cowboy Bebop because to them that's kind of like where the medium was the most evolved. And they might be right about that. That's always subjective. But like to me, because so much of it is just built on modes of communication that came before it. Like I don't want to use the word postmodern again because I use it so fucking much nowadays. That's like the last place you want to take somebody who was previously not initiated.
I don't know if I agree with that, because Cowboy Bebop is one of those shows that if you want to get somebody hooked in anime and you know what their tastes are, you got probably a 75% chance of success by showing them Bebop. Death Parade, definitely not that show.
No.
Oh, fuck. That is somebody that's a show you want to show to somebody who is mentally well off, and they probably wouldn't be after the first 2 episodes.
No, one of the things that you were telling me that you appreciated the most about it was that like it's like such a contrast from the subject matter of the show itself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? The next show on our list is exactly like that. It's one of our favorite shows. I think it's probably one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Uh-huh.
But when you know what the show... And you don't notice it right away, because if you listen to the theme and then you watch the show, you won't notice till like halfway through the first season, like, that theme doesn't really match the show in any way, shape, or form. We're talking about the first season of Konosuba.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's another isekai.
Yeah,
all right.
It's a happy-go-lucky isekai. It's like, our hero protagonist, he's in a new world, and he meets all these girls, and they have fun, and they're having adventures, and no, they're all assholes. Every last one of them is a flying prick.
And if only it stopped at them just being assholes, because even when you peel back the veil of their ill intent toward each other, you begin to find some like impressively steep like neuropsychosis with these people, especially Darkness. Darkness is the entire Freudian study.
All 4 of them have God. I'm
how about this?
Yeah.
You start here. Okay. All right. So fuck, I forgot the main guy's name.
Yeah, it was like, it's not Subaru. It's not Subaru.
No.
It's driving me nuts now.
I can't remember his name.
Because he's the one guy I don't remember the name of.
Yeah. He's a selfish, arrogant, narcissistic prick. Okay? Sometimes he shows like hints of outright psychopathy, but it never really devolves to that point. Aqua, selfish. Kind of a
narcissist,
big egotist. All right, Megumin, obviously a bit of an egotist, pyromaniac and shit. Darkness, fuck, you don't want to start. It just doesn't.
Sadomasochist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. First, that's the start. That's where it starts.
Yeah, that's the cover sheet
as it goes down. You're like gaping into the actual abyss with that one. But yeah, the entire show is like that. It's a profile.
Yeah, it's still, in my opinion, with everything we said, we love it. It's probably my favorite comedy, Maybe the funniest show I've ever seen. There's a couple that kind of contend for that title as well, but I think Konosuba is still the top of the heap when it comes to comedy.
Yeah, and when you're speaking of the theme, it's not like it doesn't immediately pop into your head when you think about like the most well-known anime openings of whatever, but it fits the show so fucking well.
Yeah. So another one of our favorite intros of all time for Corey and I was this for the miniseries or for the regular series, or did they use the same theme for both?
Oh, here's the thing. I never saw the other two miniseries because honestly, yeah,
they're not the same spirit.
Could have stopped at the OAV and then just called it a day, and they did for 20 years, and it was fine.
Oh, really? I didn't know it was that long. Obviously, we're talking about FLCL, Fooly Cooly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love this song. I absolutely freaking adore it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but it reminds me of Scott Pilgrim.
It's from that like post-punk era of pop music.
Yeah, like that underground. Corey and I are just sitting here bobbing our heads to it.
So 3 themes that we've used so far on this episode have all been in my custom alarm playlist. And this was one of them. I'm trying to think of something. Yeah, Death Parade is what I woke myself up to for like 2 years, and obviously that's had a not too great of an effect on my mental health. There we go. Okay.
Visually, this song or this intro is nothing. Half of it is live action.
Oh, is this? Well, no, this is the ending.
Is it? Oh, yeah, creditless.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
So
this
as
is
far
the
as
the ending.
As far as I knew, there wasn't any real, like, this was like a cold open show, like every time, because it was only 6 episodes long. And,
that's right. That's why this came up on the list.
had a lot of ground to cover in that airtime. But honestly, actually, like, visually speaking, this is one of my favorite also endings ever because of all the mixed media action that's got going on here. I mean, you can see the stop motion of the still images, like the actual photos here of the Vespa going through wherever this is. It's honestly one of the best things about the show itself, too. But I could talk for fucking 2 hours about that. And I'm pretty sure nobody wants that.
All right, so let's move on. This last one that we think is one of the greatest of all time. It's only 1:30, so I want to play the whole thing because for some reason this show is weird as fuck. Space Dandy.
Space Dandy's the shit.
Yeah, this is probably one of the weirder shows out there. Is this supposed to be Dandy singing? Even though, yeah, we know it's a real singer.
Like a singer in the cadence of the character, possibly. I don't know. It's another one of those intros that like perfectly encapsulates what's gonna happen after it. The thing is that like, whereas Death Parade, I think kind of Flyers was kind of supposed to lull you into kind of like a downward mood, heading into the emotional intensity of each episode. This one just kind of sets itself up to be this. It tells you everything that you need to know going into the episode. That like it's random as fuck. Nothing is going to like make very much sense, at least in terms of like sequentiality, because every episode of it is like its own little short film that takes place in its own pocket continuity, right?
Yeah, they're all standalones basically.
They're not just standalones. They're like completely separate characters who are all the same character. It's a fucking thing to try to explain to like yourself even. But the one thing that a lot of people talk about with Cowboy Bebop is how it was like informed by film culture and stuff. Like even more so than Chainsaw Man, and that every episode in Cowboy Bebop was supposed to be a different mood, a different moral, et cetera, et cetera. And what Watanabe wanted to do with Space Dandy was like, well, how about we do like a sequence of actually short films about different characters, but they're all kind of related to each other in a way. And then they explain that in like the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, there is an arc, a story arc throughout the progression, but everything else they're all standalones.
The architecture over all of that is that they did the multiverse thing. They did the multiverse thing with that same set of characters in each episode, and then at the end you find this out. It was a pretty brilliant show. It was a lot to swallow.
All right, so those were some of like that we agreed like they should have been like the top of the top of the top. But then Corey and I have our own personal favorites, and we wanted to share those with you guys.
Oh, son of a bitch! No, we're actually missing one. Hang on a sec.
Oh, fuck! How did
right?
Yeah. How did we miss that?
Well, if I had to theorize, I simply forgot to paste it.
Yeah. God,
but
what a great song.
Mm-hmm. And they all kill too. Like every single one of these. The Green Jacket one's kind of an alpha version or an alpha take on this, but it's all of the period, and there's plenty of them for you to get into too. A franchise that's been going on for like more than like 30 years, and is as well known in Japan as like Bugs Bunny is over here. I'm really shocked that like, I don't know, if you ask somebody who Lupin the Third was like on this like just at work or something, they would be like, I have no idea, but they would be able to identify Cowboy Bebop even if they only like casually heard of it.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a shame, but at the same time, yeah, people really should know who Lupin is. I really wish the studio would push it a little further.
They've tried. I mean, Adult Swim was arguably who made Cowboy Bebop, at least in the States. They tried to do the same thing with Lupin, and like a lot of people like I even remember when I saw the first like couple of episodes, and we were living in the house. I was just like, "What is this shit? Why does everybody care?" And then like, I don't know which episode it was that I saw where it kind of like clicked, and I was like, "God damn, this shit fucking kills!"
You turned into Vince McMahon there.
This is amazing. Get me Trish Stratus's duffel bag. I got a ship.
Jesus. So on that note, so Corey has a list. I have a list. You want to go first, or should I?
You lead.
All right. So this one is one of my favorites. It's a recent show. The song is just catchy as hell. We're talking about Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the song changes genres halfway through or something.
I'll let it go for a bit.
Yeah, and all the movie references just in the intro.
Yeah, I was going to say, you caught those, right?
Yeah. I mean, some of them are obvious as hell. It's like, oh, really? Okay,
yeah.
So I guess they really liked Kingpin.
Lebowski.
Or Le Big Lebowski. Kingpin. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, same sport.
Yeah.
Same vibe, arguably. So yeah, I think they chose this tune because it was it bore like not more than a passing mission. Oh my god, I'm having a really hard time talking tonight for reasons that I won't go into here. But there's the visual aspect of this being all identifiable thumbnails or references to film, and I think that they needed a song that reflected that. And also, it's like chaotic. It's like chaotic nature, like jumping from one frame to the next,
which kind of fits the show.
Seemingly unrelated, but
the show is kind of fast paced. It's kind of disgusting at times, and then it's funny, and then it's kind of all over the place. A lot like that intro was.
and then you watch Himeno die, and you don't feel like watching the show for at least 2 weeks because you're so sad.
Spoilers. The show's 3,
well-
4, 5 years old now, so who cares?
Yeah.
Wait, when did this come out? 2 years ago.
Actually, it came out only 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. I think that's outside the statute of limitations.
Is it? Actually, hey, that's a good question. Let's say there was like this running joke that Jay and I had for like a really long time, having to do with Ocarina of Time.
Uh-huh.
It came out. He didn't get to play it because he was working all the time. I got to play it. I knew about the spoiler as it is. Like everybody knows now, right? So at some point before Smash Brothers Melee, Melee came out, I like let it slip. I'm like, oh yeah, Zelda's Sheik. And he's like, God damn it, Corey. And I'm like, what the fuck? It was like 4 years ago. So that became like kind of a running joke between us. Like, oh, it's fucking 4 years ago, man. Deal with
What?
it. But like, how long do you think the statute of limitations for like a film spoiler ought to be?
You said Ocarina of Time. Did you mean something else?
Well, that happened in Ocarina, right?
That Zelda's a sheep? Oh, Sheik. Sorry. I was like, is there a Zelda game I didn't play? What the hell? Okay.
Yeah, it was the one produced by Aardman.
Yeah.
Zelda and Sean.
Coming from A24. All right, and you said it, and he was about to play Melee when you spoiled this for him. How long ago?
No, because in Melee you can be Zelda.
Okay.
And you turn into sheep.
That's like a whole system away from each other. So I think that's outside.
That's outside the statute.
Well, for video games, I think a year is perfectly fine to start talking about, especially if it's an A-list title like that.
Okay. All right. Because some people will still get salty about giving away the ending to The Sixth Sense, in which it is revealed that Bruce Willis was dead the entire time.
Somebody ruined that for me on my way to go see the movie, and I said, fuck it, I'm going home. Still haven't seen it since.
What, like somebody outside the theater?
No, I was in a restaurant, I think like a Steak and Shake or something, and the people on the table behind us, because there's no dividers back then, and they start talking about the movie, and before I could turn around and say, hey, we're about to go see it, can you hold off on they said the spoiler. I'm like, fuck.
Well, like, bro, I can't believe Bruce Willis was dead the whole time.
And this was like opening weekend or something, or the week after, or something like that.
Opening weekend should be like an implied NDA phase.
Some people don't care.
Outside of a theater, though, that's fucked.
Yeah, some people. I mean, people will spoil shit the second it happens on Twitter when a show streams.
Oh, to be an ass.
Yeah,
right.
Just to be an ass. Yeah, that's why. Like, I was waking up Monday mornings at 3 a.m. before I had to go to work to watch Game of Thrones, because as soon as I got there, those fuckers were going to talk about that show. It's like, I got to watch this first.
Well, that was going to be like a common topic of conversation, right? But there was like, I think Dan Patrick was like making a shtick out of revealing the ending to every Game of Thrones episode throughout its like second or third season or something.
Jeez. Just to be an asshole.
Just to be an asshole.
Look at these nerds watching this show. Oh, and by the way, Game of Thrones is enjoyed by everybody. Well, it was.
That's like shock jock 101. It's not even remotely clever.
Well, again, this is Dan Patrick. So, hey, what's the first show on your list?
First show on my list is one that is a couple of things to a certain like anime fan, like especially dudes that like get into the older shit. It's a Die Buster, and what this is that it's a semi-sequel. Ask me what that means later. To a venerable old Gainax anime called Gunbuster, which was arguably what put Gainax on the map. But they're not really the same.
Oh, okay. So it's the same universe, but different stories.
That's the thing. At the show, at the beginning of the show, it presents itself as just like kind of a spiritual sequel to that initial OAV, following like similar themes. You know, hey, there's a mech. Hey, there's an ingenue that can only pilot this mech, et cetera, et cetera. And then like at the end, it ties itself to the universe, or reveals itself being related to the universe from the first anime in like the most mind fucking boggling way possible. And the fact that not that many people, even like intermediate like anime fans, have seen neither show is kind of a crime, because we were just talking about twists, and this one was not like just kind of like a haymaker one, but a really emotional one too. Like I cried like a bitch at the end of the show, and for the most part, the tone of the show isn't anywhere near that. It like matches what the opening is. So roll that shit, and you can be led astray like I was.
Okay, I love it so far.
Yeah.
Was she wearing a shiny shirt or was she nude?
Well.
Okay. Say no more.
Yeah. So most of the show is a bit like this. I mean, there's some dark stuff here and there, usually having to do with like, it's humanity versus the aliens. But at some point, you find various figureheads of the government are like eating the aliens for who knows what reason, and that's about as disturbing as it gets. And then like the last episode, when it's like, all right, we need to introduce the high stakes now. They forget where the gas pedal is or the brakes are. It's just like full speed all the way.
I was going to ask if this was made by Trigger, but I recognize some of the animation is definitely not Trigger.
No, it's Gainax, but Imaishi was on this.
Oh, okay.
It was pre-Trigger.
All right, so that's why it looks a little familiar.
Yeah, you saw the giant kicking frame with the foot like right up.
And Trigger characters don't usually have such long legs. That was one thing I noticed.
Nah, the character design was
well, that was cute.
When did I get so bad at names? Damn. but yeah, Imaishi actually did have a hand in directing I think the bulk of the episodes in this, and this might have been like right before the establishment of Trigger.
Oh, okay. So right before he broke away.
Right before he was just like, I'm gonna go make some money, fellas. Also, Gainax might be like shitting itself this decade. I don't want to be a part of that. Surprise, they did.
So my next show is a recent show. Even if you've never seen any of the episodes, you've probably been bombarded with the music. It has been freaking everywhere. And the song is really freaking catchy. I love this show. I love the song even more. I think this is one of those songs that, this is a sin to skip this song. And it's Dan to Dan.
Wow.
Have you not heard this before?
I've not seen the show before.
Well, what about the song?
Although it could have been played by one of the clubs across the street while I was trying to go to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning. But by that point, I've got earplugs in.
I love the tonal switch it does. Then it switches it up even more.
The hag. So I've read some of the manga before, and I think I got up to the Flatwoods arc, or the one that was a little bit after that. And the reason I put a pause on it is because I heard that the anime was coming out, but then I stopped watching Netflix. Well, I might just get to the manga, or get back to the manga again. I don't know.
You can if you want. I strongly suggest if there are other options for you to watch the show, you should give it a try.
Thank you for reminding me that my laptop is open and that I need to go put my passwords over there.
There is one thing about this intro that I thought was really, really good. Early on, did you hear parts of the song that were kind of like high pitched, like squeaking noises? Let me see if I can find it again. That.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That is a song from the 1915 that has been, well, actually, I can I found this right here
Sample breakdown.
by.
Oh, that's cool.
I've been floating down the old Green Miller River by Billy Murray. And yes, I did misread that the first time I saw that. It's like, Bill Murray? No, Billy Murray.
Tied to the mast while the schooners went past. The ship got wrecked with the captain and crew.
Real old-timey stuff. I love it. So they take this little sample. That's double speed. Now they speed up a whole bunch, add a lot of pitch to it, and they're going to amplify that soundbite, right?
That is so fucking cool.
Yeah. I love it when they do shit like this. But, and we'll get to like outros for shows as well, but Dan to Dan is one of those shows that if you start watching, it will go from intro to outro in a heartbeat. And not be,
it's like,
it feels like it just clicks on by. So you'll be hearing this part. Dun, 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 yeah. And the show starts and everything's going fine. And then all of a sudden the intro kick or the outro kicks in. Like, what the fuck? And this was really frustrating when the show was first airing and you had to wait a whole week to watch another episode. The intro itself is nothing spectacular, unique.
The credits are pretty, like, almost jarringly conventional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was like one of those shows that everyone was pointing out. I was like, man, it went from intro to outro in a heartbeat. What the hell?
That's storytelling at a breakneck pace. That's kind of cool when shows are able to do that, though. This one is late 2000s, and unfortunately, it's in obscurity, despite the fact that Crunchyroll like pimped the shit out of it back in the day, and like nobody watched it, nobody bought the DVDs, and now the IP is like languishing in obscurity, even though the like concept, which I'll reveal after the video. All right, yeah, go ahead and roll it.
I have seen this show. It took me a minute.
Yeah. I just want to get through the first couple of seconds here, which is great. So, yeah. Isaac and Miria dressing up in Halloween costumes to rob a candy store because they're in Halloween costumes. So, if you're in a group of 10 people, 10 anime nerds, 9 of them will go, man, I'd like to get to know what the show is. One person's going to be going, fucking Picano, god damn!
They're going to turn into Vince McMahon.
Yeah. The following that this show has is really loyal and very stick-to-itive, I guess. But the fact of the matter is that, like, after 2010, if you asked anybody who's seen this, they'd be like, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. And I've seen the most obscure of the obscurest shit ever. This isn't even obscure. It just got buried because it didn't get the audience that, who was it at the time? I think Anawave wanted it to get.
Aw.
Which is tragic. It's an amazing fucking show.
Oh, so they took the Netflix approach? Well, no one's watching this. We're going to stop doing our thing.
Kind of innovative of them. The concept of it is killer, too. It's obviously it's a period piece, takes place in like either the 1920s or the 30s, whichever. It's about immortal gangsters. And you saw all of the players within the story. Each of the episodes, by the way, has like a rotating arc between, a particular cast and a particular cast, all part of the same group of players within the show. And they do that for a reason, because 3 or 4 of those characters are actually about like 200 years old. And at some point, they have to explain how they got to the 1920s, why they're in organized crime, and what their activities had done to the rest of the organized crime community, I guess. I don't know really what you'd call it. It's not an industry.
Yeah.
Basically, everybody else in the show. And there's no real, like, brutal twists or anything. It's all like what you see is what you get, but it's like so stylish and so character driven. I've never like quite seen anything like it since then. even though there have been like plenty of quality character driven shows to come afterwards. And the fact that like not that many people remember it or know what it is I don't want to say it's a crime.
You can call it a crime. Yeah, you can. So the next show on my list, it's a show that started off really, really strong. I think it was.
I know what you're fucking talking about already.
Yeah. Let's see. It was 2017. I think is when the show started.
Yeah.
No, that's not when the show. That's when the manga started. The show.
I'm not quite sure there's a manga. I know it's a light novel series. But
No.
The show landed in either 2018 or 2019 because it became one of those Twitter firestorms for predictably stupid reasons.
You know what? The manga predates the light novel by a month.
Cool.
I'm looking at the info. But I'm not talking. I didn't read the manga because that's Corey's department. I fall asleep after reading 2 pages of a book because I am a Neanderthal. I'm talking about the Rising of the Shield Hero. First season, I think, had the best intro because it was the best show. And you could actually, like, every season, you could see the show kind of dip a little bit more and more. And it's not, they weren't bad. They just didn't live up to how good the first season was.
Nah, I'd say the first half of the second season was pretty fucking bad, dude.
Well, I mean,
a giant turtle.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
World-ending threat.
Yeah.
Can't move more than a quarter of a mile an hour.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the song.
God, absolute 2000s dick rock.
Yeah.
It's so good.
J-Rock. Wait, did you say mid-2000s?
Not the show itself, but
Oh.
the style. The intro reminds me of the type of like either new rock or dick rock that like pervades American airwaves in and around like 2005 or so.
And here's one of the things, after watching the series, and I'm looking at the intro here, and they're showing like some of the most hated characters in all of anime history. I'm like, fuck that bitch. Years after watching that season 1, I'm like, oh god, it's that whore. Fuck her. It just makes me like the other characters so much more.
Especially the Queen, because the Queen had to abide by the agreement they set with Shield Hero. Yeah, sure, I'll call my daughter a whore whenever you say that. That's a cool. The first season was a killer. The second season, if I can be like kind to it, shit all over its own feet in the first half, but. It picked up in the second half. I'm not going to lie about that, because I always wondered what would have, like, if he was the only person drawn into that world from his world, and it turns out that there wasn't, and it kind of became like a little bit like the evil twin kind of thing, but I didn't see it like that. I saw it as like an exploration of like divergent experiences and how a person comes out of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the third season was cool though. I liked that one quite a bit.
I haven't seen the 4th season yet, just because I was so disappointed by the sequel season. I'll probably get
it.
There is, or there's going to be a 4th. I can't remember which it is. I'm pretty sure there is a 4th as of right now.
Get
Question mark.
Confirmation. It was announced 1 year ago.
Oh, so we're probably 3 years away then, knowing how these animation studios move.
So, old stuff. Writing Bean is like ancient, and it's kind of like a proto-series for another venerable older series called Gunsmith Cats, who I think more people will recognize. The reason I like this OP is because at the time of the release of this anime, it was the 80s. The intro sounds exactly like the era in which it was spawned.
The
so
80s.
I'll pause my thought there. Roll it.
Okay. Very Knight Rider. Oh my God, you weren't kidding.
Right?
Oh Jesus.
Hell yeah.
Did Sammy Hagar do this? This is
I
like
don't
the intro
know.
to like an 80s LA Law show or something.
Dude, it's so good. So yeah, it's an anime riff on the cop show.
Oh my God, this is like
For some
Foreigner.
reason, the cop, well, this guy who's not actually, a police officer, he has superpowers somehow. It is also jarringly gory at times.
So I can
Which-
see.
Yeah, which you just saw there.
Oh my God, this has Journey written all over it.
Who's John Franken? No. I can't remember. The guy that did Axel F. Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't think. Oh, that's straight up nudity in the intro. Oh God.
Not as many people watched anime back then.
Yeah.
So not as many watchdogs.
I mean, first we get a pair of titties and then a guy's head gets blown off. In the intro. I am impressed.
So like whoever directed this was of the mind to like make it as American, or at least what they thought to be as American as possible, even setting the story in Chicago.
Oh God, that guy's a horrible shot.
Well, he might have gotten distracted.
Yeah, he was a little distracted.
Yeah, like that. Like, oh shit, I forgot that frame was in it. The with the car driving towards camera front with the background moving behind it. Did that remind you of anything?
I want to say police.
The one
Squad.
shot of the Batmobile in the animated series.
Oh,
in the intro?
God, yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. By the way, whenever you get the chance to, on your anime watching portal of choice, Writing Bean, you probably should see this. It's a good way to kill 2 hours.
Is it a movie or a series?
It is an original movie. They never went anywhere.
Oh,
with the
okay.
series, unfortunately. The funny thing about like the cast in this was, I mentioned Gunsmith's cast before, right? The characters in it were like recycled into that series, just in different roles. It's an interesting dynamic there. Also, his car can do that.
And go turn perfectly sideways. All right, so
Yeah.
is this intro not the music, obviously, but maybe I don't know if this song is in the movie itself. But are we watching like segments from the movie in the intro, or is this something they made for the intro?
I think this is actually the setup for the movie. Yeah, so it fades out right here.
Okay, got it. Yep, I definitely have to watch
Pencil that in.
Yeah, Writing Bean, Roadbuster. God, I'm gonna be laying in bed looking up at the ceiling tonight and be like, "Hey, hon, Roadbuster!" Like, have you been
Just work on
drinking?
those vocal inflections a little bit. You're almost there.
That's a good vocal exercise. Roadbuster, Roadbuster, Roadbuster! What are you doing? Oh, it's just a vocal exercise. It's something I gotta do. No, it's fine. It's not about you.
All right. So now you got to top that.
All right. I don't know if I can top how awesome that fucking was. Oh my God. This next show, let's see, when did it come out? I think the show itself started in 2016, 2017, something like that. Kind of like the same studio that did One Punch Man. I think some people even say it's in the same universe. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think so. But Mob Psycho 100, love this intro. Absolutely freaking love it.
So I noticed that a lot of Japanese musicians kind of abuse the driving bass line as a lead-in.
I mean, if it's catchy, then why not?
If it works,
Yeah.
of course. Oh, that's so cool.
Let's see, what studio did this? Bang Zoom.
So the characters look a lot like the design from One Punch Man.
Well, yeah, same studio. Still don't I mean, I've seen the series, but I still am kind of like, what's going on? I think I'm following it. Kid has psychic powers.
Cannot
He's with
help
this
you
guy.
because I have never seen that show.
You got to see it at least once, just to say you've knocked it off your list.
That's a lot of shows.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like One Piece commitment.
True. This one made it only to one season, right?
At least 2. Oh, it just keeps going. All right, let's kill that before I go crazy.
Yeah, it's like a killer trek like that. You just don't want to hang up on it. You want that shit to loop for good measure.
A 3rd season is in production, and they're working on a live action. What is this next show of yours?
Let me see. Okay.
Gantz.
I'm kind of fronting here with this one because I only know about the basic concept of the show. I have never seen it, but I was actually a fan of the group that made the opening for the show before I knew about the show.
I love when they get real bands to get some of this stuff. Gantz. Is that it? Gantz?
Gantz.
Oh, what does this sound like?
There's only one group this could sound like. The thing is that you might have heard another song of theirs before, especially when I was in my flash watching phase.
What's that?
I don't know if I can actually find it. Here, hang on a second. Let's have some fun.
What, we're not having enough fun?
No, we could always have more.
Super Shooper by Rip Slime.
Rip Slime. And I couldn't find the song fast enough.
Oh, no.
All right, so let me see. Do you remember Wizard Power by it was on Albino Black Sheep?
I'm sure it would come to me if I heard it again.
Let's see. Rip Slime's one of the ones that I had on my. I'm sorry, Super Shoot is one of the songs that I had in my alarm clock mix for a little while too. That was actually the first one that had to be taken off though, because it was literally 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Like it's not like Cowboy Bebop's gonna, that one's gonna blast you out of bed, and that's fine. This was just like if you stop right now, you may very well die. Your heart will be like, no, you did this to me already. We're not going to go anywhere now if we don't keep going. So that was just like stress incarnates. But Rip Slime is some good shit. They're like this weird funk, super sample heavy fusion sort of a band, and pretty much like their entire discography is like that. And still, they keep innovating over themselves repeatedly. It's a weird dynamic.
All right.
But yeah. Anyway.
So the last song on my personal favorite list is a recent show. It's called Kaiju Number 8. Have you ever heard of this, Corey?
I've only heard of it in one of the weirdest roundabout ways. Kaiju Number 8 is an unlockable character in a game that I played like a year ago called Captain Meteor or something.
No kidding.
And the reason that he was an unlockable character is because the actual game was about this kid who reads manga. All of a sudden being sucked into like the Namco Bandai like manga panoply, and that kind of constitutes the rest of the cast of the game. So yeah, but I've, like a lot of other well-known animes, I have just not watched yet.
No?
I
Okay.
don't have the time to.
Well, this is a brand new series. It came out just a couple months ago, but I think its first season just wrapped up. So this was one of those intros that when I first heard it, I was getting ready to hit that skip intro button. Mm-hmm. But there was something about it just like, I got to not only keep listening to this, I need to watch this.
Were you like, oh, it's gonna kick in any moment here?
Yes. I kept thinking, I was like, Where are we going? Oh, something big's coming. Something big's coming. Something big's coming. Where's the big thing?
Someone lit the fuse. I hear it.
Where is the big thing?
They're big on the CG in this one.
Yeah, if you get a chance, you need to watch the video for it. It's really visually stunning. A lot of kaleidoscope zoom out bullshit.
Well, it looked like all DNA chains, and then
Yeah, it looked like
became-
DNA chains, and then it morphed into something else, and back to DNA change. Obviously, the show is about biological change. I don't want to spoil because it's actually a good series. I enjoy it.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a little creepy. The guy crawling.
oh, that's a cute, big-headed Godzilla. And then a bunch of globules. See, now this reminds me of something from the 2000s as well, but I can't name the group.
Oh, the music group.
Like yeah, it reminds me.
Yeah, I can't pinpoint it myself.
Like
Maybe
it might have been a wrestler's theme during the just the end of the Attitude Era.
Oh, God.
Possible gimmick for the wrestler. They're crazy, and somewhat spooky and probably shop at Hot Topic.
You know what? I can see this song being used in that fashion. I will tell you that the show, it got me hooked in because it's the story of a guy who was trying to obtain his dream job, but it's getting to the point where there's like a cutoff age limit for him to apply. So he's like in his final year of eligibility. So he's going through the motions, and I was like, oh my God, this is hitting a little too close to home. I'm getting too old for a lot of my shit.
I was about to say it's a little bit of a humanitarian subtext there.
It's a lot to take in. You got to see it. It's about kaijus. I don't want to spoil the rest. They do a couple of tropes that I just absolutely fucking hate in anime. Like the star pupil girl, whatever, who thinks she's above everybody, so she talks down to everyone, and it's like, I fucking hate that trope.
The Hermione trope.
What did she have? That she didn't really talk down to people.
Oh, I thought that was like her, at least half of her deal, at least in the movies, or as portrayed in the movies.
No, I mean, she was a know-it-all, but I wouldn't see her as like almost to the level of a bully talking down. It's like, I'm your better. You need to like worship me or some bullshit like that. I was like, oh God, it's one of those.
Oh, Eris.
It's pretty good.
Pretty close to it.
Pretty close to it, yeah.
I gotcha. The last one was evocative of a particular era in American pop music. And this one is a show that harps heavily upon nostalgia, and I think like maybe mid to late 90s nostalgia, and the song pretty accurately reflects that. So go ahead and spin that shit.
Oh, I like it already.
Yeah. Have you not seen this?
Summertime. Some of the show to confirm it, but I think I have. So far, it's just graphics.
Okay. I'm going to rattle off 3 separate terms here. Long black hair, glasses, giant hammer.
Oddly enough, that doesn't narrow it down for me.
Nope. Okay. Well, if you do get to see it, I know you still got Hulu. I believe it's on there still.
Checking out all the current shows I'm watching, to the ones left are the ones that are currently airing, so I gotta wait a week to watch them.
I love how this song like seemingly references like 3 different 90s musical presences. Like it starts from like who did a lot of Stone Temple? No, it was Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah.
You have seen this? Okay, all right. I know. Damn, Jay would be able to tell me who might have led this intro in, but then it goes to like Ben Folds, and then it goes to like signature changes in the middle of the track. There's so many.
Don't expect us to keep track of everything.
But like that song's DNA is like almost identifiable if you're not getting early onset Alzheimer's and can actually remember a lot of acts from the 90s. Yeah, that's a good show too.
All right, so now those are our favorite intros. Now we have a couple of that outros because a lot of these shows they'll put one song at the front and then one song, a completely different song at the closing credits. I'll be the first to admit that I'm usually skipping those.
Wow.
Just because I want to move on to the next episode. And I also don't want, as soon as that end song rolls, I don't want to see spoilers for the next episode I'm about to watch.
Well, you're not going to get spoilers. You're just going to get teasers.
And I don't want to... is it bad enough I just admit that I skip through the outros?
I mean...
okay, so...
It's going to take me some time to forgive you.
Fair enough. So these are the outro. These are the shows that have outros I should not be skipping. These are the ones I should be listening, watching, whatever, both, neither.
Yeah, I believe so. So the first one I picked up here was it's a show whose, like, if anybody's ever heard of it, they've likely heard of the game series first. And the tones between each of those entities could not be more different. The game is like frantic, over the top, ridiculous. It's like so much stress, and you tap the X button so many times you get caught. But the show itself, though, is like this bioscience kind of a riff on both Frankenstein and The Godfather, which is a hell of a couple of things to try to combine in tandem. But the Godfather aspect of it comes into play with like the whole idea of like lost innocence and shit. The intro is like this heavy sort of a moody jazz thing. The outro, however, sounds like this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling it's not going to stay at this tempo.
No. And it kind of sucks that they don't actually show the animation with it too.
Oh, this particular video.
It's very evocative of the tones of the track as well. So this is Gungrave, obviously. Yeah. And what this does over the game itself is that it goes into Brandon Ahito's past before he becomes Gungrave, and that he wasn't always like a cowboy Frankenstein gang enforcer. He was just a dude who was friends with another dude, and that other dude eventually became like a mob leader, and then revenge.
I'm a friend of a dude who's friends with another dude who's friends with... I've lost track at this point.
Yeah, but there's a lot of those character connections and such. It's a mob epic, just with Frankenstein bits. So the characters in the story were also created by Yosuke Naitao, who did Trigun, which is why a lot of the character designs are kind of similar. And who did the music for Trigun. Hold the fucking phone. How did we not put the Trigun theme on here?
Because it was so easy to miss from after all those years.
I guess, but I jumped to Gungrave before I thought of Trigun. That's kind of a failing on my part. I mean, they're both fantastic. But
all right, so really quick question. Gungrave. I remember one time when we were living at the house we were renting, you were playing a game, you got all the way to the end, and you thought you were watching a cutscene where the character you're playing is holding a gun to the overall protagonist or antagonist, and you're just waiting for something to happen, and it looks like a cutscene, and you sat there for probably a good 10 minutes, like, are they just trying to make like dramatic effect? What the hell's going on here? And you finally like hit a button, then the guy pulls the trigger and kills him. It's like, No, it was waiting on me. Was that Gungrave?
That was Gungrave. Yep. Yep. Corey's earliest exposure to games is cinema.
And I'll be honest, I would have made the same mistake, because just sitting there was like, oh, this is gonna be good. This is I got all the way to this point. This is my reward. This cutscene.
Yeah.
Like, let's see what happens. They're just standing there. What the fuck?
Am I supposed to do something? Let me see. Isn't the other guy doing it?
It's like I can almost see it. Your question in your head is like, should I just exit out? Is the game frozen? What the hell's going on?
I don't know what's going. I could just put the controller down, go get some Cape Cod chips. Well, jeez, he's dead now. All right, I was supposed to do something. Cool. All right, well, here's the credits.
Was it this song?
So yeah. What? Oh, at the end of the game? No. This was all part of the anime, which is another one I would highly suggest checking out as well.
All right, so the next ending song, outro song, whatever you want, credit song.
So this is a show I don't particularly care for, but a lot of people do, and you go to all the cons, as was previously stated. I'm pretty sure you've seen some people cosplaying as characters from this, so just might as well play it.
Get it over with.
Just get it over with. Shit. There's actually a lead in there, and I guess they kind of jumped into it on this cut. Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah. So Inuyasha. If I had anything to say about this, like I said, I don't watch the show. I just remember the theme from Adult Swim, and the reason it stuck with me for so long is because, and here's where this episode turns into a confessional. I actually like Evanescence a whole lot, and the reason you don't see any of Evanescence tracks on any of my playlists is because in between the years 2002 and 2009, I would have heard every single goddamn song on all of their albums at least 100 times over between the airwaves. Actually, 100 times over is just the airwaves.
Yeah, it seemed like everything they put out hit the radio.
Mm-hmm.
There were no B-sides.
Hit the radio? Yeah, but more importantly, it hits those huge tones. Like, Amy Lee is a fucking singer. Just belts that shit out. And most of the stuff that they wrote's like schmaltz, you know? But they were all about power. Just like those driving guitar bits. Just her like not screaming into the microphone, like stopping just short of
legit
that.
Singing.
And they had it all under such concise control. I don't know what it is about that group, but yeah, their track stuck with me, and so did that ending. Okay,
I mean, it's fair enough. Even if you don't watch the show, it's still.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the show. I know it's like a Fox dude. He's not fucking the lead character. Whatever's going on.
No, I think you just the write up for the show might actually be what you just said. There's a Fox dude.
I think he just described the X-Files too.
All right, so this next one, this one I enjoy, and every time this song kicked in, I kind of felt a little defeated.
Yeah,
I can't really explain it. I mean, it's Black Lagoon. The episode's going. It's a lot of action, a lot of intrigue, lots of suspense is going on, and then this intro it just completely takes me out of it.
Yeah. Oh, how long is it?
It's 90 seconds.
So it's okay. Let it roll in full.
Because the speed that the show goes, and then this slow ass outro kicks in, it's like, I feel like I just got punched in the chest.
I realize the visual quality of this is also half of the experience, unfortunately. But it's like you see
the shells,
basically resignation happening. Like this. Go ahead.
Nope, I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. But like Yeah, this isn't going to be on anybody's playlist. Like
Oh,
zero
no.
playlist. I'm pretty damn
No.
sure because there's nothing upbeat about it. There's nothing like identifiable about it. It's just like morose as fuck. But it dictates the direction of the show. And you're like, why does it end like this? All these characters are still alive and stuff, and then all of a sudden the last season of the show happens, and you're like, okay, this was the positive version of everything that went down. I got it.
Like they were setting you up for something you had no idea what.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess when it finally did happen, and you're like, oh, shit, I got played for like how many years?
Well, I think there was only 2 seasons of this, right? And then like 3 movies.
Oh, I didn't watch any of the movies.
And now you're dead.
I love that little tease. I was like, all right, here's a little drum riff. I was like, all right, the show's really going to pick up now. And it's over.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. I want to run through that show again.
No harm in that.
Okay.
All right, now you're going to have to tell me about this one.
So, okay, Trigger.
Sure.
So this is the last thing. It wasn't Die Buster. Just had to remind myself of that. This was the last thing that most of the Trigger studio heads did before they left Gainax.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So once you start rolling this, you're gonna be like, oh, why does it seem like a Trigger outro? Well, it kind of halfway is. Or post-punk pop.
You're right on both accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this intro is very Trigger. You know,
now think about this outro and think about why Imaishi might have chosen Franz Ferdinand for the opening to
because it's Franz fucking Ferdinand.
Well, because they also almost sound exactly like each
yeah.
other. Yeah. I kind of miss this design era in Imaishi's stuff, where he deals with like a lot of those the shadows, like heavy chiaroscuro, where it's almost like comic booky, you know.
Did you ever say the name of this show?
Gurren
Yeah.
Lagann. All right, so you know how Trigger's big thing is that it's like super postmodern with a lot of like well-worn anime genres, like Kill la Kill, Magical Girl, you know.
You know, that's another show we forgot the intro of.
I didn't. I just kind of got choosy.
Oh, yeah, it wouldn't have made my list, but it's still memorable, to say the least.
Well, the funny thing is I'm saying like, yeah, I got choosy about those ones, and yet I slid that last one on into the chat just because I know you've seen it also, and it kind of just popped back into my head when we rolled the Bacano intro.
That's true. Yeah,
It's not it doesn't go in any of the categories. It's just kind of an honorable mention for all of them. Not that one.
No,
not
no.
that one.
I'm just loading up the next song. It's like, God damn, that opening frame of video.
So I might as well explain this one. I wanted to put like "Welcome to the NHK" on there as like, I don't know where you're going to be able to see this one legally, so alternative methods will be pursued. I highly recommend that you do, because we're talking about animes with fucked up characters, or at least like psychologically damaged ones. This one tries to keep things a little bit more grounded within our reality, even though the circumstances that take place within it are still pretty extraordinary. But this is like an inverse of one of the other animes that we had mentioned, where like the intro is kind of like, it explains what the show is, it gets you ready, primed, and then the outro is just like kind of generic and not offensive, of course, but it's like, well, thanks for bringing me down off of the edge there. This is the exact opposite. It starts generic, and then shit happens.
I got to point out, this is the full 4-minute song, so I'm not sure if it kicks off at the same.
No, play
it.
No. You'll be over it in like 10 seconds.
I love it already.
It really sucks that the accompanying video isn't here.
What was that one Muppet that would throw fish?
Fish. Wasn't the guy that like always exploded the backstage? He had like a beard.
No. But this guy sounds like that character and a cross between Dr. Teeth.
Yeah. So this is a tough show to describe. It's kind of supposed to be like a commentary upon like the excesses of fandom and stuff, and the two main characters are like these otaku losers. So it's quite ultimately like misogynistic, very scornful of basically all of humanity, and a girl who falls in love with one of them. I think. I don't know. It's got kind of a fatalistic ending. That I don't really want to go into here, but it's very driven by like social commentary, and it's a hell of a thing to see. It's like I don't know, if Faulkner did anime, it would be this, like William Faulkner, not any other like less famous Faulkner that I'm not thinking of right now.
I can tell you the show is available on Crunchyroll and Prime.
Prime?
You can buy it, but yes.
Ooh. I'm gonna watch it at the other place.
Sail the high seas. How many seasons were there? Just one?
Just one.
Did you want more than one?
I kind of did. It was, not a great ending. I mean, it was an appropriate ending, and it makes sense. It was like how Seinfeld ended, but you want to know what happened afterwards a little bit at least. Like, did they all get out of jail?
Who cares? Hey, I'll tell you what.
Anyway,
I'll tell you what. This, as this song is playing, this is a really good time for us to sign off because we've gone for almost 2 hours now.
Oh, perfect.
So, folks, thank you so much for joining us. Please let us know what your favorite anime intro song or outro song is, whatever that might be. Let us know. We want to remind you, practice infinite diversity and infinite combinations. There is a link tree to all of our socials and other media. Join our Discord. Corey, I have left this in your hands. You can run the Discord into the ground or let it thrive. It is all on to you, brother.
I'll do what I can about running it into the ground.
Our third member who's not with us tonight, Jay, you can find him on YouTube for Square Pegs. You can find me on Instagram under WRH Studios. I was just at a botanical gardens today doing a photo shoot, so by the time this episode uploads, you will get to see some of those photos out there. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for everyone who participated. Folks, just to let you know, we have merch on our TeePublic store that features the art of Tom Solo. I've got 10 seconds left. To all of our followers, new and old, we say, welcome
to the Guild. And to all your dogs and cats.